It's brother to brother.
What's up, man?
Brother,
How are you?
freaking not good.
Good to see you.
Yeah, not
what
good.
happened?
I can't see.
Did you get in a street fight?
No, my wife hits me.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
You probably had it coming.
I scare her. This happened today. I scare her and she goes, "Fuck you!" And she pulls her fist back. She goes, "Fuck you!"
Oh, like you jump out.
Yeah,
from
but
a
like I was just standing still. She just turns the corner and gets startled.
Yeah.
She's like, "Look what you make me do! Look what you made me do!" And I go, "Yeah, this is this."
Yeah, let me see.
I got a sty, man.
Yeah, that thing's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it's
dude.
disgusting, dude.
It's not as gross as you think it is.
Yeah, it feels like it. I can feel it though. To the point where I'm like, should I wear an
Well,
eye
I can
patch?
see it.
Should I wear an eye patch?
Well, you have that hair strategically placed over it.
I'm like a goth boy.
Like,
Like a 90s
Yeah.
goth boy. Hi, John.
hey.
How's the Depeche Mode album?
Oh, it's pretty good.
That should be my character. I should do that when you're like Richard Nakashima.
Oh, Richie, dude.
And I'm just like a goth guy, like, "Hey, Richie, man, it's good to see you again.
Thinking about bringing him back for New Year's.
Kind of been in a bad place."
Hey, man.
Taking up whistling. No, yeah, so that, and then my neck went out.
Well, you're
So,
just really, like,
really
thriving.
middle age right now, dude.
How did you throw your neck out? Were you exercising?
What I did, no, the baby was like sitting on my back like a horse, but I was just in bed, and
Right.
what I did was I reached back like that.
Oh, yeah.
That was the end of it.
The last time I threw my back out was I was wiping.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. I reached back and I was like, oh no!
Did you order like a Tushy bidet immediately and like
Yeah.
deliver it straight to the bathroom?
No, but then I did have to like switch hands.
Oh, so you never got clean.
Well, yeah, when you switch hands, like have you ever wiped with your offhand?
Yeah, no.
It's not possible.
Just like with your hand just shit covered.
Just
Just missing
all
toilet
under
paper.
my-
You're like, I'm not good with this.
under my fingernails. It's like, oh. Yeah, that's true. I leave when you know it's bad. Dude. It's time to get in shape.
Yeah, it's time, but you know, I always feel like it's time to get in shape, but it's also there's still time.
Well, I love going to the gym, and I like working out. Whenever I work out, I'm like, why don't I do this all the time? And then I just do it 2 days, and that's it.
I'm the same. I was very consistent. Like about a decade ago, I did CrossFit pretty consistently for a few years, and I was in the best shape of my life.
But did you get hurt doing CrossFit? A lot of people get hurt.
I didn't get hurt. You're always kind of getting like banged up a little, just like you're tired. You're sore all the time, so it's easy to make mistakes. The problem I had was I was working out with all these 20-year-olds, and I was trying to like keep up, and my
Yeah.
body was just more and more worn down. And instead of pacing back, like, okay, I'm gonna go 3 times a week, I was like, I just need to go 6.
You gotta go more.
I went more, and the lack of rest, I would have gotten seriously hurt. I think,
But that's the
And
plight
so-
of the formerly in shape person.
Yeah.
Is that we
know what it's like.
know how to get there.
I could get in
And
shape.
so
right
what
now.
happens is we start, going the way we would go to get in shape.
Yes.
But really, you got to get in shape before.
Yes.
Like I went running with my friend Dylan a couple weeks ago, and he's 50. And because we're talking about doing the Bakersfield Marathon.
You're going the Burt Kreischer route where you're just
No,
from
no,
the
no,
couch
no.
to marathon.
No, I'm training,
Yeah.
but so I was like, listen, we're gonna run 2 miles. We're gonna take it easy, old man way. But he's a lot like he was a runner. He's thinner.
He has good technique and. yeah,
So
he's-
we get about a mile in. He goes, well, I'm gonna you keep going. I'm gonna do a little bit extra loop and I'll catch up with you. I said, that's fine, dude, but you're not gonna be good. Anyway, I get back to his house and waiting to come. Finally, I see him walking down the block, and I was like, what happened? He goes, I threw up. I told you, dude.
I have never thrown up in the last 20-something years of working out. But I've been close.
Yeah,
I feel it coming early. You just kind of know.
that is the sign that you're getting a good workout in, that you want to vomit,
Yeah.
which is not fun. I don't want to do that anymore.
No, I have no.
I like
desire to.
walking.
I
like lightweight.
I like this. Get your steps in generation. I'm fine with it.
I mean, I'm not fat. I'm 45. I'm fine.
Yeah. In our case, I will say this. I feel like the camera adds 700 pounds to us.
Yeah, I know. I only weigh 180 pounds.
Yeah, I'm 205. I'm down 15 pounds since we started this thing.
From what do you think that is from? It's not diet. It's not exercise.
No, it is diet. Yeah, I've cut out like in between snacks, like not eating like chips or not eating cereal. Just that's it.
Cereal. Yeah, you're too old for cereal.
Ah man, but it's so tasty.
I haven't had a bowl of cereal in I don't even know how long. Years.
Well, what'll happen is you'll get like a delicious bowl of cereal, and you're like, I'm all in on this for a little while, and then you go, man, I put like 9 pounds on. What happened?
Yeah,
I
I feel
thought
like
Cheerios was delicious. Cheerios is horrible. My wife, that's her favorite cereal. Cheerios.
Did she put sugar on it?
No.
I used to put so much sugar on my Cheerios that you could scrape the spoon in the bottom of the bowl and it would be just like
Yeah.
like a beach of sugar.
Oh, okay. So this is a good gone camping. Memories. Shredded wheat. What was up with our parents? They bought this shredded wheat that came with the package. Was it 2 or 3 giant shredded wheat in there? And you're serving was one shredded wheat. One giant brick of shredded wheat.
So what do you want to know about it?
Do you remember this?
I remember having
How
that.
did you eat it?
I didn't.
Okay, so here's how I ate it. I would get milk on it so it was wet, and then I would completely cover it with sugar.
Yeah.
So it looked like a giant wheat, not a mini
Yeah.
wheat.
Which is a frosted mini maxi wheat.
Yeah, so probably the most unhealthy way. There's no way they invented shredded wheat going, this is going to become the most unhealthy.
Well, I don't even know
cereal.
how it's even an edible thing.
Just pure, like, dried wheat.
It doesn't taste good.
My son Eli will eat dry spaghetti noodles. Just
Well, that's
chews them.
really weird. But this is also the kid that his butthole got impacted with eating too many
Oh
sunflower
my
seeds.
gosh, okay. So
And not eating the shell, not just and eating the shells, right?
he ate all of the sunflower seed. He ate an entire pound bag of sunflower seeds, shell and all, and then for about a week, couldn't shit. So they took him to the doctor. Then we ended up having to take him to a children's hospital, where they were giving him just straight laxatives, and then they're shooting enemas up in him to try and break it apart.
Oh my god.
And then as it started to flow, they were literally pulling out
Oh, see, that's
like
when.
sawdust, like wood chips.
Oh God, you watched it happen?
No, man, I was.
That's how the doctor described it to you?
Just pulling it out.
That's one of the most unique self-inflicted injuries.
The X-ray was just like a
Oh,
block.
dude.
They're like, well, he's definitely blocked up. We're like, what was it? Sunflower seeds. It's just wood chips. Yeah.
I'm not surprised that kid eats raw
Dried noodles,
dude.
So our baby, the 20-month-old, he hadn't pooped in a couple of days, and it's the last 2 days he's having grown man farts. Just
All right.
like, oh my god, this is. And I go, he had to have pooped. So you go change his diaper and there's nothing, and he's going poop, like he's telling us he definitely pooped, but it's just farts for 2 straight days. So last night it's late. He hasn't pooped. He's struggling. He gets to sleep. This morning we have bought apple juice. Last time he was like this. Drank some apple juice. 20 minutes later, water, fire in the hole kind of.
Hold on. Sorry, dying.
It happens.
Okay, so
Aaron, I can't. My neck's all messed up. So I go get in the shower and I have hot water's on my neck. I come out and she's like, and I go, oh, smells like he pooped. And she goes, oh, did he poop? Did he? Is that what he did? He pooped. And I go, well, was it a fart? And he goes, no. Do you see my hands? They're raw. And I go, what happened? She goes, he shit up the front. He shit up the back. She goes, then he grabbed his wang with that shit all over it. So now he has shit on it. Then he grabbed my arm with that shit.
Oh God.
And she goes, and it's the worst smell ever. So I have to take the diaper out. I go, she just like scrubbed with like one of those metal, just like a cheese
Brillo
grater
pad.
style Brillo pad, and to get the shit off of her hands. And then I go, hey, I'm gonna need you to not touch me with that. And she goes, I'm gonna shove it in your mouth.
That sounds hot.
And I was like, all right.
What? 'Cause I don't have kids, so I never really had to do. Like, how do you not just vomit all over your child?
When I was a younger dad, I would take the plastic bags from grocery stores, set it next to it, and everything just went straight in.
Right.
And then I just took that bag out. Now I just use the diaper and then take that out. It's disgusting. Like last night I was really afraid that when he fell asleep in our bed, he would finally shit and it would just be in our bed. And my wife said, as long as he shits. So
That's where you guys are at. Boy, by the way, we
that's where we're
really
at.
have a lot of poop talk on the podcast lately.
Well, middle age is a lot of that, man. It's like what's going on with your colon, and then babies. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's the diapers are disgusting. He's never peed on me or anything. Like I changed tons of diapers with him. Nothing, never, not one time. I barely got spit. He never threw up. He's like
A sturdy kid.
yeah.
Well, he's a tank of a
He's
child.
a tank. He eats anything. Like he has a great palate. He'll eat like cherry tomatoes off of like a little pizza, and he eats that. And
Oh, that's
he'll
interesting.
eat like really high end mac and cheese, like the noodles with like the light dusting of cheese.
High-end mac and cheese.
Well, it's like fusilli. It's like fusilli noodles. It's like not
like
Velveeta.
like if you went to a restaurant.
yeah, like restaurant noodles. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, like chickpeas. He loves chickpeas. Loves them.
That's were your other kids
Super picky.
picky?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Are any of them still picky? Like, are they picky adult eaters?
No, they're all pretty good now. I think like as they became adults, you get to go to like better restaurants and go to places where they have stuff that's interesting, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna try this.
It's always interesting with like grown people you meet and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've never had a pear." You're like, "What? What do you mean?"
Oh my! I worked with this guy years ago, and they went to Hawaii, and his wife is a really picky eater, and she would only eat Subway sandwiches while in Hawaii. And I was like, that's a divorce.
Also, can't you just get another sandwich?
Nope. She's like, this is what she knew. That's to me is like disrespectful to
It's a red flag.
That's a real problem. Yeah. Well, like, okay, what's a red flag for you in like food? Somebody that they don't like sushi. That
Oh, what would be a red flag if somebody was dating or whatever?
yeah, I know mine.
Mine are mostly has to do with manners. I don't really care about what somebody eats.
I think that you should never eat a steak well done.
Oh, well, that's pretty universal.
No, but like there's whole sections of the country that they think that's how you're supposed to eat a
That
steak.
can't be true.
Yeah.
Who? Where? Where is this place? Is it a flyover state?
Yeah, definitely a flyover steak.
I think that would bother me. I would definitely be like trying to talk him out.
Yellow flag.
Beige flag.
Yeah, it's dark. But yeah. That one's like that, not tipping.
Not tipping is a big one. Being rude to servers. But most people have pretty okay manners, I think.
I think that like most people now understand just being kind isn't that hard.
Or I guess if like, every time we went out somewhere to eat, they ordered chicken fingers or something, I'd be like, dude, you gotta try some stuff here.
So our dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, our dad's that guy. He's
They
that
don't like
picky.
sauces.
Yeah.
He's like, what is this? I don't like meat and sauces. All right, man.
Oh, you taught me something in Hawaii. I didn't know that most wasabi in the U.S. is just horseradish.
Were they? Yeah,
It's like colored
Not
horseradish
real,
and
yeah.
dry. It's not real wasabi.
as far as I know, yeah.
No, I take that as fact.
I remember this is for my wedding. We had that reception and we had Indian food, and everybody's like, people were freaking out because it's Bakersfield people, and they're like, I've never had Indian food, and so
Yeah. Where's the dry tri-tip and chicken?
yeah, exactly. So it's a really good spread. It's great food, but they had salad, and then next to it was like a little bowl, and of like
Like a curry?
no, it was like a rice,
Oh, yeah, okay.
like kind of a rice pudding thing. It's like very common in Indian food. It's like a dessert. And afterwards, people were like, "Yeah, that was good, man. That salad dressing was amazing." And I was like, "What salad dressing?" They would get their salad and they were putting on rice pudding on their salads and just loving it. Isn't that amazing?
It's the healthiest I've ever been. This is so good. You're like, that's like 9,000 calories, man.
Well, yeah.
That's so funny.
Everything's healthy. Salads are like the most caloric things on the
They're
menu
horrible.
typically.
Terrible.
Yeah, because like to make that dressing
Yeah.
is so bad for you.
It's just giants, like 9
I shouldn't say bad for you. It's just like a lot of calories.
They're just big portions. I was talking to some students about that. They're like, why do we eat such big food?
Yeah,
And I'm
no.
like, I go because people think that more is better because it provides, they think they're getting more value for their money. by getting more food.
It's just more wasteful to me.
And it's more wasteful, and it's not as quality. I think the quality level goes quite down.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of sushi places everybody around here that's like, oh, the people are really good, and I'm like, this sushi is like that big around.
It's all rice.
It's not delicate at all. Not that I'm a big snot about it, but
No, I mean, like, if it tastes good, I'm fine with it. But it's just a lot of. Oh, this is okay. Let me pose this to you, okay?
okay.
Conversation. It's related to food and obesity.
I feel like I'm wearing leg warmers.
I like it. The roll. You should roll them down like a donut, like in
I remember you used to
second
do
grade.
that, dude. That was a style.
80s.
Sorry.
Okay. So I get posed with this trap question. The question that my wife posed to me
Okay.
was, if we were vampires and we'd been married for like 100 years,
Okay.
after 100 years of being married,
Yeah.
would you still want to be monogamous, or do you think it's okay to go? That's a trap question.
100 years?
100 years.
You guys just look the same?
Yeah, you're a vampire now, so I look like I look, she looks how she looks, 100 years.
I would say that you should probably know each other well enough to where that would be fine, or just like, at least do some weird stuff in bed. I don't- yeah, why not?
Yeah. So what I said was, it's premised off, we were watching What We Do in the Shadows,
Yeah.
the great show, and I go, well, first of all, as vampires, we would have immediately been more sexual beings.
Way more.
I go, the idea of monogamy would be like, well, have you sucked off the Baron?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's
Right.
like-
So just to start, that's good. That gets you out of it.
That's how I kind of got out of it. She goes, right. But like, what do you think? And I was like, I mean, 100 years. I think the obvious answer here is you have to, right?
You're like, I've been fucking people this whole time.
What do you? And then so I go, okay, well, like, what about the other people that you turn into vampires? You're out there sucking blood and stuff. And she goes, well, I mean, I wouldn't turn anybody else into vampires. I mean, I would suck people's blood, but like, I don't want them to become vampires. Like, they just die. And I go,
Yeah, just kill.
okay, so you're just killing people. And I go, all right. I go, do you have like standards for you? She goes, I would like to kill attractive people.
Yeah, I would only want to kill hot people.
Yeah. Would you suck the blood of somebody that might have type 2 diabetes?
I mean, I've done worse with people.
Well, type
As a
1
non-
diabetes
as a
is
non-vampire.
fine. Type 1 diabetes is fine because, they didn't do that to themselves.
Yeah. Sure. I
Yeah,
would.
you're not less discriminatory when it comes to blood.
Well, I wonder if you could smell it or something,
Really, it's like that thick coagulated
gross,
blood. Or it's like, okay, you become a connoisseur. Like where you're like, and this is
right.
the only area of the country I feed. You're like, hey guys, we're taking the weekend up to Napa. The best blood.
Yeah, like really
like
wine
really
rich.
like yeah.
That'd be good.
Just-
So wait, but she asked you the question because she wants to bang other people out.
at least after 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like probably.
She's also how many years younger than you?
almost 100.
You're like, you're gonna die, and she's still gonna be young enough. She just get it in then.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we talked about it. She hates. Well, we don't talk about it. I say it, and she's like, "Will you please stop?"
You're like, someday you're gonna wipe me.
Yeah, probably sooner rather than later. Man,
Oh,
that
Jesus.
colonoscopy's coming up soon.
Oh, when is that?
March, middle of March.
Excited?
I'm like probably gonna get under 200 pounds for the first time in a while.
Just from the.
Just shit getting
Evacuation.
washed out of me. Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that. I gotta probably go into the doctor at some point. It's
Yeah.
only been 15 years.
That's just tell me what I've been happy. Like I think that like having the little baby makes all doctor's appointments more serious.
Because you want to be around longer.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I'm like 63 when he's 18. I'm like already kind of look like his grandpa.
Yeah, you do have grandpa vibes.
Oh, dude. So when I'm with the baby, I call my wife mom, and she calls me dad. Or I go, Mommy, come here. Dad, come here. Right.
Okay, it's kinky.
With the baby. Daddy, come here, check out the baby. Right, kind of thing. But that's the habit. So we were in Target the other day, and I had the baby walking on one aisle, and then she comes to the other end of the aisle, and she goes, "Daddy!" And I go,
Oh, no.
please don't, no more. You can't do that, and can't do that in public out loud." She goes, "I'm hearing it now. I'm hearing it."
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. What was I gonna say? I forgot.
Oh, going to the doctor. Oh, all these doctor's appointments are a little scary. Yeah, I want to be around, so I'm so much more nervous going in. Like,
Do you have like that impending like, oh, it's they're gonna find cancer for
Yes.
sure?
well, it's not that they're going to find it this time, but that they're going to find it sometime.
You're like, it's like, yeah, but you're like, just don't look that hard.
Yeah, just like I want to be surprised.
Yeah, I want it to be a real shocker.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather be surprised by it or like you're like, hey, this is likely we're just like, wow, I just started losing weight real rapidly.
I think surprised.
You don't want to do the consistent doctor.
Well,
it's
because
to catch it early. You're like, I want to find out at stage 4.
Well, because almost everyone in our family has had cancer.
That's why.
So the odds are we're gonna get cancer. Also, we're living on this planet at this time. We're probably gonna get cancer. So I already feel like I have the impending doom of knowing I'm gonna get cancer.
Yeah.
So I would now rather be surprised because I have anxiety and I think about it a lot.
Well, that's my anxiety. My anxiety is going to the doctor. They draw blood, and then I wait 3 days.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like, well, are we starting treatment tomorrow, or do I get to wait 6 more months until the next test? But I will say this. For us, you can use mine's probably accurate for you as well. Our heart's good. Strong heart.
Why can I use yours?
We're related.
But Dad has a weak heart.
Yeah, but he's 80.
Yeah, but still.
But his heart, like, works.
Oh, well, yeah, he is alive.
He's got but he also has no plaque. He's no issues
healthy.
related to it.
Well, but I will say,
fatigue.
I definitely have been worse to my body than anyone else in the family, by
Right.
far.
So basically, you're saying is like you're the bar.
Yeah, I'm.
Oh, he's still going.
Yeah, if I can keep going, you guys be all right.
It's like John's looking a little like he might be a little sick. I probably should get him to the doctor.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's the test.
I feel like I always look a little sick.
But like, yeah, my stress level's gone up. I haven't been that much of an anxious person with health because I was sick so much growing up. But yeah, going to the doctor and having a little kid. Yeah, that's like the most nerve wracking going in. Then they tell you, hey, no, everything looks good. Keep taking your fish oil. And I'm like, all right. And so far everything's good. And then I'm a happy person. I'm like, well, I was kind of a dick for 3 days, but
yeah, what do you do for your anxiety? Do you do anything?
No.
You meditate?
Mm-hmm.
You journal?
Just I do journal, not consistently. When I am anxious, I will try and write.
Are your journals like mine? It's like December 7th.
Just violent thoughts.
You piece of shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's.
Will I ever be happy again?
And they're like, man, I really need to be more positive in this thing. You fucking idiot.
Feel like I was turning a corner there for a second.
Yeah.
Gave that shit up.
I got 30 good minutes yesterday.
Just that is something I'm like, I'm not good at, man. Is when I'm anxious is not transferring that to others.
You get like a ball of anger or something.
It's not even, it's like I just become on edge, man. I'm defensive. I'm just protective. I think it's a fear that I'm not going to be around. So I'm like, I'm going to protect myself now. And it just becomes this really unhealthy way of dealing with anxiety.
Yeah, you can't bottle it.
No.
But I will say, I don't know, journaling doesn't necessarily help it either.
Well, yeah.
It just feeds it sometimes.
I think what I'm really, when it's the best, is if I tell my wife, hey, I'm really feeling anxious right now. Just like be honest. And then where she goes, what's going on? I'm like, well, I think my health stuff is really worrying me right now. And then she's, good communication, that kind of thing. But for whatever reason, like anxiety, I fall back to like being a child. Hide, be safe, it's fine.
Yeah, but
get through it.
That's a survival mechanism because
so that's what happens.
You had it when things in your life caused anxiety as a kid, like you had to find a safe place.
But it's not healthy in a relationship.
No, that's why I'm not in one.
Well, it's
probably not capable of being one.
Oh, I think you're capable of it. It's just it's hard. Relationships are just hard. But like that's I think the biggest thing that I have to deal with is when I start getting anxious is that I go into a bubble.
Yeah, my thing is I just pretend that it's not there and then I pass out in malls and airports or something.
Just
Train station.
Train station.
I pass out at train station.
From anxiety?
At JFK. Mm-hmm.
Really? I've never had that.
Crowds sometimes get me.
I'm at how many stores can you go to in one trip out before anxiety gets you?
I don't know, 3.
Okay, yeah, I'm at 3 now. Before I could be out. And
I get dizzy in like department stores.
Oh, you get dizzy, huh?
Yeah, there's just you're in the men's section in there, and it just feels like overwhelming.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't get that. I get like the kind of like breathing, like where I'm like, oh, I don't like this is not good. Like I gotta start taking deep breaths.
Yeah, I get that. I get a little. I'll get like blackouty.
If we go to like if I went Walmart, Sam's Club, Vons for whatever reason, those three stores or something like the first two I can get through. The third one, I'm like, okay.
You know what? Any parking lot related to a Trader Joe's,
they are not good.
I don't know why they're just so chaotic. But yeah, I have
weird angles. It's angled both ways. People
Right.
are cutting corners. I don't know, man.
I have generalized anxiety disorder, which just means everything gives me anxiety.
It's like allergies. You're
In
like, I'm
some
allergic to everything except in this case, it just creates
Like
stress.
I can find a scenario in which every single situation or thing can cause me to have like real anxiety problems.
Oh, that's interesting. Like,
Yeah.
how long have it been since you were a kid, or just more as an adult?
I think it started when I was having those seizure things
Like
when
10,
I was
11, 12?
11, 12, yeah. And then
Is it just because they would come out of nowhere? I don't really. Could you feel
Yes.
them coming, or
there is a it's almost like do you taste pennies sort of thing. There's a like a precursor taste.
like a copper penny?
And every once in a while, where was I? Not too long ago, I was like, I'd been sober for maybe like 3 weeks, and my body was really, it was blossoming. It was really changing, and I remember having that feeling. Even right now, even talking about it, because I used to get them in my face. It was like
you
this
get
palsy
like a
sort of.
little-
Even now, I feel like my left side of my face is going a little.
It was, I remember because
So
they would lock up, like a real lock jaw down.
Yeah, so I do a lot of breathing stuff. You know.
Do you still feel them, or?
No, but like when I'm talking about having
Oh, I
sense,
get you. Like
sense
yeah,
memories.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you stop doing drugs for like, a year, but you could still feel the drip sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Like, I know, like, my asthma, I can tell before, if I went to the doctor right now, they would be like, yeah, you're breathing fine. But I can feel right now, there's a
Your
kind
chest
of
is
a
tight.
general chest tightness I have physically right now, yeah.
Well, I also think like growing up with you and you were having a lot of medical stuff, and I would be like the first responder.
Right, that's true.
And so I think I developed this like over alertness and awareness of like trouble coming.
Let's head it off.
Like if
We're
I
gonna
walk
have-
down the
yeah.
street, if I walk down the street and there is a 75-year-old lady walking towards me, my first thought is, how is this person going to try to harm me?
Okay.
That's literally true. And then I get ready, and then when she passes, as I'm about to punch her, I go, wait a second. That's a little absurd. So I stick my leg out.
Tripper.
No, but that's really true. Like and so New York was hard at times because my brain's going, it's almost like, it's like the most, the most effective Sherlock Holmes like skill ever, dude. I'm just like, I feel like I'm the way the Teslas like are seeing everything. Like I'm just sizing everything up all the time.
Yeah, but in this case, you're sizing it up and then drawing irrational conclusions.
All the time.
Okay.
It's almost never been an issue where I was
and
like,
that I was right.
I was right there. Never.
If you were right one time, it would almost justify being right every time.
I've talked about this before. The only time I felt really good was COVID.
When everybody else had to stay home too.
Because all of a sudden the world made sense to me.
Wasn't it? I liked it. I got a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
It was hard, but
there was elements of it that sucked.
But I didn't have anxiety through the first the 6 months of it. That came later with more because it was this hyper isolation because I was up in the mountains. But yeah, I was like super chill. People were like, "You're handling this well." I was like, "Yeah, I've been telling you guys for years that this shit's good. Like things are nothing's gonna work out." Yeah, anxiety's a motherfucker, man. Because it's like hard. The medicine didn't work. Although I'm thinking about giving it another try.
Yeah.
Because I think it also didn't work because I was drunk when I was taking it.
It was all
So
the
who
chemicals were
knows?
messed up.
Yeah.
You can always start small.
But I've been having. I think I'm in my. I think you're going through it too. Probably like I'm hitting that midlife crisis thing.
Yeah, mine's health related. I think more than anything.
Yeah,
Like, it's
but that
just-
seems to be a part of a midlife crisis, though. Your
Yeah.
mortality is.
Yeah, the mortality part of things is the thing that gets me the most right now. I think like people talking midlife crisis, like you went out and bought this and they're doing this and he's with this person. You're like, yeah, but like this is the first time in life you have the ability and finances to do that kind of stuff. Like I don't fault any guy in his 40s that's like, hey man, I got a Harley, and I'm like, well, yeah, your kids are old enough and out of the house where you have money for the first time in 15
Right.
years, and it's weird if a 21-year-old's riding a Harley. Like you just don't see that a lot. But like, all right, 42. Makes sense. I get it.
Yeah, I think of it, it's more of an existential, like, what's the meaning of it all?
All of a sudden, all those
What am I
Woody
doing?
Allen characters start making a lot of sense, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah, like,
there we go.
yeah. What am I doing with my life? What do I want to do with my life?
Is this it, or what I'm doing? Is it what
Is
I
this
want
it?
to be doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
I like my life a lot. My life is good, to quote Nacho Libre.
It's fantastic. I love Nacho Libre, dude.
I had a student, we watched the State a few years ago, and she's like, I just don't get why it's funny. And I was like, I just don't know how to help you.
Yeah, you're like, get out of here.
There are just certain things.
What do you mean you don't get out? It's like,
It's
it's one of the
it's so funny.
more laughs per minute than almost any other movie.
Oh yeah.
And
Nacho
it's-
Libre it never shows up on best comedies either, and it's like ridiculous. It absolutely is
It's
one of the
just
best
so
movies.
funny.
Oh, my wife and I were talking about this. There's these movies at early 2000s. They were kind of like the Dude, Where's My Car movies.
Harold
Without a
and Kumar.
Paddle. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I saw none of them because I had
Okay.
just started having kids. I saw none of them. But I also just didn't have a desire to see them because I saw that genre when I was in high school in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I go, well, I've already seen that genre of comedy, and
The
I like
screwball
those, and
comedy.
I don't care to see these
Yeah.
in my mid-20s. But now in my 40s, I really enjoy going back and watching the ones that got 15% on Rotten Tomato. I want to see the dumb screwball comedies. I wish there were more dumb screwball comedies that came out.
Well, I also
They're not even big budgets.
but we
I would love them.
you spend a lot of your younger life with these intellectual endeavors.
Yeah.
So that's when I wanted to watch the like serious art house
Right.
films.
Yeah.
And I used to go to the
Run Lola
the
Run.
Guggenheim and
Amelie.
exactly. I used to go to Guggenheim and watch these like crazy like Matthew Barney, Craymaster Psycho, like crazy art movies. Like these are not real movies. They're wild.
You're watching an experience.
And
Yeah.
I just feel like now all I want to do is just like zone out. I don't want to think about anything. So I find myself watching more of like the, Hangover again and watching those things.
Semi-pro. And
Oh yeah, it's great because it's just like, it's silly. I think as you get old, things feel so serious.
Yeah.
And even like being a comedian, it's still serious. It's not the same thing as like just being silly.
Oh no, like it's for.
I mean, you can. There's
But
parts
you want
of
to
it.
show up, right? You want to do a good job. You want to make people laugh.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
the,
exactly.
The amount of focus it takes on stage to make other people, strangers, laugh at something that you are trying to communicate, I think is very real.
Yeah, and there's this like, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So it's not necessarily like you're messing around with your friends. It's completely different.
Oh yeah, well that's why people that they're funny with their friends, they go to an open mic, and then it's the first time they do it, so it's pretty funny to everybody. The second time they do it, they bring 30 of their friends. So then they're like, man, they were really funny because their friends know all the inside jokes. The third time, none of their friends come anymore, and they're like, I bombed. They're like,
Yeah,
what
it
happened?
doesn't work.
Because nobody knows you. We don't know your jokes. We don't know your rhythm. We don't know any of that stuff, man. Like, now the work happens. You actually have to write.
Yeah, there was a newer comic the other day at the open mic that I run at the club, and he goes up and he just starts talking about another comic that hasn't been on stage yet.
Like from last week?
Yeah.
Last week you said some things I wanted to address.
He's like-
this is a weird
He's
TED
like,
Talk.
I know Steve hasn't been on stage yet, and I was like, well, that's an interesting. Anyway, so then later, the comic is a good comic, gets on stage and destroys that dude, man. And I leaned over to the guy that went first, and I was like, hey, they don't know him.
Right.
You know him. Until they meet him, you can't talk about him.
Right.
It was hilarious.
That's why being the host,
I'll tell you who it is.
when a comic wants to trash talk, but you're hosting. You're like, I get to talk 15 more times. I can just say something about you.
Oh, I know.
Every single time.
And I do. Well, I think there are a lot of funny people in the scene.
Yeah, we have a lot.
But there's a lot, because it's such a tight-knit community, it's like that trap of making fun of each other, because you're going to get laughs from the comics, but it's not usable.
You can't use it on the Friday show.
You can't use it and so it's like, I want to be like, guys, just work on jokes here.
It is hard, right? Because you only get 5 minutes, maybe 7. And your first 2 minutes, if they're riffed on someone else, is completely unusable. And now you have like 3 minutes.
I mean, I guess like some people do it well. Our friend Marcos is really good at it.
He's the best, I think, in town.
But also, he always has an improvisational thing going on when he's doing it. So like, he's just sharpening that blade, I think, by making sure he's putting himself out there and with no net.
Well, he's a guy.
He's very funny.
I don't think people underestimate him. That guy's smart, man. He's real smart.
Very
he's
smart.
a hard worker.
He made fun of my cardigan though.
He's sharp, man.
Yeah, he's a very smart guy. But I think what happens is you see him. He's one of the funnier people in the scene, and so then the younger people, they mirror that.
Yeah. Also, when he first started doing comedy, he was just started right before me. He did jokes.
He does have great jokes.
Well, he did jokes. That's what he did. Every 5-minute set for a couple of years. It was just material, man. He just did jokes. He told jokes. He went on stage and did jokes. And then, he's good at that. And then he started also doing crowd work. I think a lot of guys started doing crowd work right away because they're like, oh, I can do crowd work and maybe post some clips or it's funny. And they're like, how come I never get booked? Like, you don't have even 5 minutes.
Yeah, you got it.
There's no joke. What are you going to do, man? You're going to go on stage and make people in the front row feel awkward?
I love the guys that get on stage. They try to riff on a guy in the front, gets nothing, and then this one guy's like, so what do you guys want to talk about?
You have the mic.
Like, what do you mean? We're here to hear what you have to say.
If you were going to give a person that, maybe they did an open mic once, and they're like, I actually really like comedy, but I don't really know what to do. I came in, I thought I had some jokes, I don't really know what to do. What would be your advice? Quit.
Stop now. No, I think it's like for me, it's like, tell a story. Just if you don't have the jokes, tell a story. At least be up there and be interesting. Yeah. And then you'll develop into something will come of it.
Yeah. And
stories are good because you know them. You don't have, and they're not memorized, so they always feel especially if you're just starting to tell something. You just get up there and just start saying it, and then you'll find a thing. I don't know. I'm just but the advice is just keep coming back, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do it, you just have to keep doing it and keep trying new things.
You know, like Mike Birbiglia's method now, because that's what he does. He writes a story out. He'll literally read it. He's like, there's no real jokes in this. This is just the story. And he tells the story, and then there's natural parts in it, and he's a good storyteller where people laugh, and he leans in on those moments and goes, okay, so we found some moments here. Now let's see if we can refine this and turn it into something. I think there's a documentary of him starting one of his specials.
That's the Old Man in the Pool, I think.
It's or just after it. It's like a 45-minute documentary.
Yeah, but it's about.
Is it about Old Man in the Pool? He starts telling stories, and it's like, yeah, that was like 9 minutes on stage. I think we're gonna get that thing down to maybe 3. I think it's gonna end up being about 3, and then I think that's the other hard part where you start having like a little bit of success getting laughs. Is that you're like, oh man, how do I ever do more time? It's so hard just to get those laughs. But I think storytelling is great advice.
Well, just because I just think that if you don't know how to tell a joke and you don't have any jokes and you got to do 5 minutes, have 2 stories.
Yeah.
Then the jokes will, until you get used to. I also think that people shouldn't be doing as much time. I mean, 3 minutes is a long time if you've never done comedy before.
Yeah. Do you remember doing comedy for the first time? Do you remember your actual?
Oh, yeah.
I remember before my first time doing a stand-up set, talking to you, and you're like, hey, I go, I haven't gone. You're like, get some balls, go and do it.
Up there.
And I had written for 4 months. I wrote jokes for 4 months.
Right.
and practiced them and timed them and practiced them and timed them, and then went to an open mic and just watched. And the best thing for me was watching an actual open mic going, oh, there's some very funny people. And there are some very unfunny people. And it's, I think I will get at least as many laughs as that very unfunny
I can be
person.
bad like those guys. That's
Yeah.
a big like motivator.
And then the next week I went and I got a few laughs and I went, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I try to when I'm hosting, with the younger people or people doing it the first time, I try to create an environment that's extremely supportive.
Yes, you're coming
I
up. This is a
want
hard
them to have it to go well.
Yeah.
Because I also want people to become good comedians around. I want funny people. So that I think that helps, like getting the audience behind them, like letting them know this is this person's first time on stage. We're gonna show them some freaking love.
Right, yeah, we clap before, we'll clap after. Doesn't matter if you think they're hilarious or not. Just be cool.
This lady, older woman in her 60s, she did it the other night, and other than like not having understanding the mic distance,
Right.
you could tell she had spoke a lot, but she was funny. It was like all really good. And before her set, she goes, "Hey, afterwards, if I stick around, will people give me feedback?" And I said, "Well, that's kind of what's happening while you're doing it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
just listen to the response."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, just listen. Nobody laughed.
It's
For
always
2
shocking to
minutes.
me
It's
when
not funny.
there's
Just
guys
drop it.
guys have been doing comedy for a long time, and they still like, how'd I do? You're like, they just told you how you did,
Yeah, you didn't do good.
or you did great. How do you not know?
Or
this little thing didn't-
for 4 minutes it was nothing, and then for 1 minute it was good. So you have one good minute.
Yeah, I very rarely come off stage and have ever been like, how'd it go? I'm always like, oh, what do you think about this part?
Yeah, I tried this new line. I
That
don't
was
know.
weird.
How did it sound out in the audience?
Is it
I think
weird?
that's something
Yeah.
too in the club is like the sound from the stage and the sound in the audience, depending on the shape of the club,
Oh yeah,
can
well,
vary. Like it's not always. You're like, man, it looks like they're laughing really hard.
Yeah, I got a lot of smilers out there.
Yeah, but just let it.
It is weird, though,
I used
like-
to say that when I hosted. I go, hey, like smiling is nice. My mom does that when she goes, wasn't this fun?
Isn't this fun?
And I go, how about this? If you feel like you're laughing on the inside,
Let it out.
just let it out. This is the environment where you can just laugh out loud and everybody's like, oh, that's cool. You're not a crazy person.
No.
Laugh out loud. It's more fun.
I'm going to Fresno. I got to show them Fresno.
I saw that, man. That's awesome. You and our friend John Hacker, one of the
John
funniest
Hager.
guys around.
Good comedian. Looking forward to that. I haven't been out of town in a while.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. A road trip gig.
Yeah, he's fun.
How much time are you doing?
I don't know.
15 probably.
20s.
Yeah.
It should be a good time. It's good to get in front of other audiences.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I ain't got much going on.
When's that show?
Friday,
So this Friday.
13th. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's exciting. Friday the 13th show.
And then the club's kind of setting us up to, like, with all the hosts of the shows, to get to do radio spots a lot more.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the club, the Well Comedy Club in Bakersfield.
Yeah, last week I was ready to quit the whole endeavor.
That's I think like most good comics want to quit more often than not.
Well, there's just
You know what it takes.
again, it comes down to that midlife crisis thing. It's like, what do I want out of this?
Yeah.
What am I getting out of this? And I think for me right now, it's like I like to be able to be a support system, like people get them interested. In
You have a little bit of you're in a giving phase of comedy.
Yeah, because I don't really want to be famous.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
care at all.
Well, you've always told me you're like, I want to be funny.
I want to be good.
I want to be.
whatever.
I want to be good at
And
this.
I'm not. And that's the other thing. I'm not. I mean, I'm okay. I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm proficient.
Yeah.
I can catch a vein and have a really good time. But no, I think that's trying to find more stage time in Bakersfield's hard, where you can
Right.
really try things out in different audiences.
Yes.
Because even the Wednesdays, like it's this similar people come. It's a popular show.
It has returning
And
customers.
so I get to do a lot of stuff, but I have to really invent a lot on the fly.
Right. Yeah, that's something that like hosting, you write a lot more.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah,
But also
you don't
because-
hone anything.
Yeah, you don't know if anything's any good because you're only really doing it 1 week just to get things going. Well, that's where the road and get on the road. That's one of my goals next year is to get on the road, do some more shows, expand out.
yeah, I gotta get out of the
I had a
out of
fun
town.
show with KDK and John Flanagan.
I don't know them.
Both good LA kind of based comics. Santa Clarita to LA. And John, he's been doing it for a little over a decade. He was really funny. He was the feature for the night. I think if they come back, they could flip. Both of them really, really funny. KDK, she did America's Got Talent, but not in comedy. She said her friend had, person she knew called her and goes, "Hey, I have this character that I want to do, and I need this America's Little Sister character. Can you do it?" And she said, "Yeah." So I wrestled in applesauce on
That's
America's
fun.
Got Talent, and fans loved it. She didn't win or anything, but they kept inviting her back to America's Got Talent. I had a great conversation with her. If you don't know KDK, follow her. She's great. She said, "I turned it into an Instagram, the
Right.
character. The problem is that this character was like mostly sad, and so it's funny because it's sad, and then it's just sad because it's
And then
sad.
you're sad.
And then she goes, I had to stop. It was just like, this is just sad. And I think that's something that people don't think about is like, I don't want to be this thing that.
Oh, I was talking to my friend last night on the phone, and it's like, yeah, I make jokes about like being divorced twice. It's funny to you.
I joke about it because that's how I cope.
Stings. It doesn't help you. It actually makes you feel worse about it. Like none of that stuff is therapeutic at all.
Oh, I am of the belief that stand-up comedy is not therapy. I do not agree with anybody that goes, "This is where my therapy is." I'm like, then you've never done good therapy because,
No.
this isn't. It might feel therapeutic, but you're not really unburdening yourself. You're just making the rest of us burdened.
Yeah, you're just putting it on somebody else
Oh,
for,
man.
for a brief moment.
Those are the hardest ones. To me, like going behind somebody that's hilarious, to me is more fun because I'm like, oh, it's so fun. I just want to have fun like that person was having fun with the audience and see if I can make them keep laughs going, even if it dies off a little. It's still want it to be fun. Going after the person that just like scars the audience, just as
It's in some ways it's a blast though too.
well. My new thing is if I know a comic ahead of me is gonna bomb, I just tell the host, "Hey man, don't reset it. Just let me come up."
Yeah, just let me go.
Just let me come up because I know I'm gonna make them laugh pretty quick. And as soon as I do, the whole audience is gonna go, "Okay, we're in good hands. We're in good hands."
Yeah,
And I go, now that I use that bomb to gain me leverage.
Also, yeah, because it makes your average jokes amazing.
All of a sudden, like, that guy is hilarious.
Oh man, dude, it's the other thing too. Like, with the open mics and stuff, these themes that
Isn't that weird how that happens?
last week it was so many people did like Indian Pakistani accents,
Do you think it's because one guy did it and they're like, "Oh, I guess tonight I can
but
bust
nobody
my
got laughs at it.
out." So it's just an unfunny
Just
thing.
people saying racist stuff. I was talking to this dude, black guy, who was sitting next to me at the bar, and I was like, "You see, it's not racist if they laugh at it. As soon as you try your thing and they don't laugh, you're just racist. That's the only requirement."
If they laugh, you can always go, "You laughed at that." You
Yeah,
laughed
how
at
are
that."
you? Because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm pointing out a truth or something that's funny. But it's shocking to me that like, I'm like, are we still doing this?
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of say what you want. My new thing I always just say is like, when I get up there, I'm like, I just want to let you guys know that this is an open mic. Anybody that signs up gets on stage, which means I am not responsible for any of this shit.
Yeah.
I don't have any. They get to do whatever.
I remember going on stage at a show. This guy, he used to do jokes. He was basically like an Anthony Jeselnik ripoff. So he was up, and then I was up after him, and then the headliner was up, so I was featuring. So he does 10 minutes, and like the 3 of his jokes towards the end are all like abortion or murder jokes or whatever. Right? And the audience's thing is funny. He's getting laughs. I mean, they're well-crafted jokes. And so I'm about to go up. He's coming off the stage, and there's a couple leaving, and they're about to call my name, and she walks up to me and goes, "Just so you know, it is not okay to joke about those things." And I was like, "I'm not him. I haven't even talked yet." And she goes,
I'm just a
"Just
guy."
so you know." And I'm like, "You don't even know that I'm a comic going on stage. I could have just been a stranger that you pointed at and just chewed out." I was
Like,
like,
I'm not responsible for everything.
the visceral response that people get going, "I have to
They're-
tell somebody how mad I am."
There's this new comic. They're very, very young and very adorable, like tiny.
Oh, okay.
And they're about to go on, and they're like, "Can I say pussy?" And I was like, "That guy just said the N-word 3 times."
No, you can't.
So you better mind your P's and Q's
Yeah.
up there.
This is a racist open mic.
But
This
it's
is not
hard
a
to
sexist
explain
open
to
mic.
people why they shouldn't do it when you see other people do it, because they're like, well, that's crafted in a way that works.
Yes.
You're just trying to be edgy,
Yeah.
which I think edgy is like, you know, saying outlandish things is not edgy. It's easy.
Yeah, it's harder. Like Jim Gaffigan built a career off of not saying edgy things.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that. I mean, I love quote unquote edgy comics. I like raunchy comics.
Yeah, they're great.
I love it. I mean, in a lot of ways.
Big J. Okerson is a great comic.
Yeah,
He's
very.
hilarious.
But I don't. But he also has like an authenticity to what he says.
Well, I think the thing that makes edgy comics funny is that they have a unique perspective that probably you're not thinking about in a particular subject area.
Well,
which means it's
Sam Morrill's really
it's weird. It's a very thoughtful perspective because they're going to take a position that's not popular, and
but
then
it's thought out.
and then yeah, I think what people think is edgy is they haven't really thought through anything.
No, it's just saying an offensive thing for offensive sake.
Yeah,
And you're like, well, no, that's easy.
yeah. It's the every joke bombs followed by them going, "Ah, fuck you."
Well, because like those saying a horrible thing, there are times where just saying a horrible thing for that sake is perfect. Like you're at a funeral and you lean over to your brother and you say the most outlandishly
Right.
horrible thing. That's also thoughtful in a way because it's the right time.
Yeah, right. Like,
But
yeah,
I think
like
what
you
happened-
lean over and you're like, "Did you know that rigor mortis adds an inch to penis size?"
Right.
And you're like, "I did not." Full 4 inches, awesome.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to enjoy stand up more. I haven't been writing. I do so much journaling with the sobriety stuff that's like everything's so heavy that I'm not really thinking funny. So the open hosting the mic is good because it forces me to like get on stage.
It's light. You get to like, you know,
Yeah.
there's a riffing part to it. There's a hey welcoming part
Yeah.
to it. I always felt like hosting the open mic was not good for me as an opener or a feature
Right.
because you get the fake engagement with it. Hey guys, welcome to the club. Here's what we're doing, and everybody has to listen to you. So then when you start telling your jokes, they're like, "Oh, you've already been
Restart.
going."
Yeah.
But like when you're an opener and they introduce you and you walk
gotta
up
start.
and you.
Right.
There's no like, hey guys, what there's no built-in like little moments you get. So.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, we'll see. This weekend will be fun. The mic's growing. A lot of people come. Great comics come.
No, it's like, yeah, I think
club's
we have a
looking
good
great.
scene. The club's doing really good.
It's
yeah.
fun. It's fun to be a comic in Bakersfield right now. I think I just need to find more joy in my own life.
Yeah, I think that's gonna come too.
Yeah.
Brother, I love you.
All right, I love you too, man.
All right.
It's brother to brother.